Stop it. No. Stop it. This is sharing the screen.
Yeah. So as it is.
Okay. Austin, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir. The one that says online lead generation. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, now I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
You can see my screen?
Yeah, it says online lead generation.
Sweet. Okay. All right. What are the chances that somebody else is going to come?
Fine.
Like, should we start?
I would.
Yeah, the other day there was only one or two, and if they join, they'll show up, so
Oh, okay. Are you usually the only person that comes in person?
one or two, yeah, it's the cash for one, cash for.
I already graduated from grade 9, so I just came for your class.
Oh, yeah. Is that because I posted online and said I'm teaching stuff? Yeah, let's go. All right, I'm gonna go grab a water for myself. Anybody else want a water before we start?
I'm good.
Well,
All right, well, I get you, get out. Love you, Tristan. Okay, what's up, guys? Welcome to online lead generation. Joke's on you, that's what we're teaching today, just kidding. Today's about social media. So when I was asked to teach the class, I had just taught the shift class. And they said to just use the same slides and pretty much teach the same class. And so I'm going to literally use the same slides, but we'll go over a few different things if you're in that class. But I'm Josh. I work as the director of ops for Peter Mokel Real Estate Group. I've been doing real estate for 4 or 5 years, so not crazy long. But I've been doing social media management / communications / PR for like 8 years or something. So this is my wheelhouse. So I am kind of competent at this, relatively. Hopefully this will be helpful, but Cash, I know about you. What's your name, sir?
Scott.
Scott. Okay. Makes sense. Welcome,
So
Scott.
I'm Scott, and I've been about a year from cash. I've been off and on just a couple of nights here and there,
Mm.
and I had some businesses to sell because they're just too distracting and they're just
Where is Scott Sanders?
handsome.
Kansas. Okay.
And so finally got them sold. Now I can focus on this because there's a lot of work to do here. People don't understand, and
Yeah.
I just couldn't focus on this while I had the business.
Okay. So now you're ready to jump in, huh?
Ready to roll.
Okay. Well, hopefully this will be super valuable to you. Okay, well, let's dive in. Online lead generation. So when I first made this class, it was to kind of teach a lot of people who aren't on the internet to be on the internet. So this is why slide, right? We're 50 years into having the internet, which is so long. Like, who would have thought? I mean, that number is probably more like 30 for the internet that we know today, maybe 35. But the concept of the internet has been around for 50 years, which is like crazy. 5 billion internet users, which is like 60-something% out of the world. There's so many. And of the 5 billion internet users, 4.7 are on social media. Don't let that number sink into your soul because that's a crap load. 90-something% of people who are on the line are on a social media platform. 50% of sales that happened last year, the buyer found their home online. 90% of all home buyers search online. 89% use mobile devices to search online. 60 to 90 of sales are done through an agent. And the nice thing is that it started at 60 in the 2000s and it has grown to 90 since then. So, which is awesome. So we are becoming more relevant and online is becoming more relevant than how we use it. We have to be on that. And ideally, we have to be extremely present, not extremely present, but we have to be present on social media. Okay, tell me your ahas on that.
Well, I don't know if this is an aha of that, but my mind is going, because when I see homes online, they're always pristine. And you can tell, because they always have they also always have like a sunset in the background, all the lights are lit up. I mean, you've got a photographer or whoever is helping them
Yep.
make sure that that house is like, oh my gosh, I love that house. I have a feeling about that. You know, I have a feeling just about whatever's taking me to your website.
Yep.
So that's what I've noticed over the last, I don't know, a couple of weeks while I've been just kind of looking at stuff. Is that, because I've been doing some photography, and what I'm noticing is that they've been enhanced for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
Yep.
So when I saw a house in my neighborhood and I'm like, there's a sunset, and that is the wrong way to be a sunset, you know, was like on the-
Yeah,
on the
that's-
north side, and I'm like,
that's a
That's
different
basically
kind of
more-
enhance, like, that's like making your yellow graph be green through
Yeah.
Photoshop, for example,
yeah,
right? That's bad, don't do that.
yeah,
The good kind of enhance is like brightening the colors and making it seem like lighter than maybe it
Yeah.
really feels, you
I'm
know?
noticing because I actually have some software that all you have to do is do one click and it'll put a sunset or a clouds in the back, blue clouds in the back, stuff like that.
Yeah,
So it's just so easy to do now. that I'm
yeah,
Sure, they're enhancing the feel of it.
yeah.
That's my aha, because I'm like, everything was pristine, and I was just thinking about that.
Well, it's the same concept on social media, right? Like a lot of people who use social media only put the best of them.
Yeah.
You guys ever heard of the play? Dear Evan Hansen?
It's called?
Dear Evan Hansen? Okay. Austin, have you ever heard of Dear Evan Hansen? Anyway, so Dear Evan Hansen is about a guy who struggles with suicide, like lots of suicide. And it was made like 5 years ago where that was like feeling a lot more prevalent in high schools and stuff. And so someone wrote a play about like the feelings that are involved in that. And someone in the play commits suicide at the very beginning. And then a guy like is thought to be his friend because he interacts with that kid right before. But the guy who was thought to be his friend doesn't have any friends. And so it's like about his story. Anyway. And in that play, there's a song where he sings that says, I never let them see the worst of me.
Oh, right.
And that's kind of like what social media is like,
Yeah,
or like really like our lives are like that, but social media is like a window into our lives. And we never let people see the worst of us. And that's why, it's because we want them to see the best of us, it's shining, you know?
Yeah.
And sometimes that's really good, but sometimes that's really bad because then you don't seem real.
I think it's crazy. My aunt was, 5 billion people on the internet, and almost all of them have social media. That's crazy.
Yep.
So,
It is crazy. Okay, the ways of the internet. So these are we talked, I don't know why I did it this way, but I called it the days of the internet and the ways of the internet. So the days of the internet is just the why and the ways are the how. So these are the hows or the whats we're going to talk about. Social media advertising. We're going to talk about your website. We're going to talk about Google business. Okay. And when I wrote these slides, I mean, I'm depending on you guys having lots of questions and lots of ahas, because this was made for a 15-minute class. So this might be an hour, this might be an hour and a half. Might be 3 hours, we'll see a lot. Social media. Okay, let's talk about some common rules. Okay. The 80-20 rule. You guys know what the 80-20 rule is?
yeah, 80% of your posts in social media should be personal, 20% should be about work.
And when is that prevalent? What type of a page is prevalent on?
Your personal page.
Personal page.
Yeah.
The 80-20 rule is 80% of your posts should not be business. And 20% is business on your personal page. Now, if you want to run a business page, That's a whole, like, do you guys run business pages?
I-
Do you?
I have one, I haven't,
So that's different. Having one is good. Everybody should have a business page. But do you use your business page like heavily? Is that where you market yourself? Or do you market yourself in personal?
No, I'm not myself on my person.
Okay.
not yet, but I will.
No, that's the way I would do it. Because the thing is like. Well, let me rephrase that. You have to commit. If you're gonna run a business page. And you have to commit to being seen as that business and not being seen as you.
Right,
Does that make sense? It's like running a Walmart page instead of running the owner of Walmart's page.
right.
Does that make sense? Like,
So my page, I mean, I'll clarify for you, so what I've learned. So my page, that's my business page, will only be like a paid advertising page.
yes,
So that's where
yep, that's where you're running your ads from,
that's where I run my ads.
and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Right, you should have posts on there so that you're more relevant than nothing, you know? Make sure
That's
that,
where I'll make a post and then I'll pay for that post to go out to people that I don't know.
yeah, so you're talking about boosting posts, right? Or running it as an ad, I would do that, but. I mean, you could. But it's kind of tricky. If you run an ad, if you boost a post from your business page, the chance of that actually doing something is pretty slim. In comparison to someone that knows you seeing it on your personal page. Does that make sense? Because. Everybody's running some kind of post or ad, like
Yeah,
all my people are seeing my posts at least once a week about business, right? And everybody else's that they follow on Facebook because they know a billion agents, because that's how agents are. There's a billion of us.
yeah.
Anyway, okay, so 80-20 rule. Oh, wait. Go back. Use videos and images. So I would recommend when you're posting on Facebook, like let's look at my Facebook. I would recommend almost never posting text like this. I mean, this is Peter posting on a group page, so it's fine. But like, here's my page, right? Like, pretty much I always have some kind of picture or something, because my text will not catch their attention, right? You have to have something to catch their attention. So it's got to be an image or it's got to be a video.
Yeah.
Usually I'm doing images, but usually I'll throw in a video. I didn't think this would actually go public. Change the audio. Yeah, that's the concept, right? This is what's going on in my family. And here are pictures or videos about it. Okay. So use videos and images. When it comes to videos and some images, I really recommend 0.5 zoom, which is when you're on your camera. Let's say I'm doing a selfie. This is what my selfie looks like on normal zoom.
Yeah.
But if I zoom out, actually, I think I have to go
You just hit the button.
this way. You don't even hit the button, you zoom, so you squeeze in with 2 fingers. And then suddenly, if I take this picture, it's a lot wider. Or I'll take 2 pictures, so you can see the difference between those two. Just like, so like,
You hit this 1x, it'll go all the way to 1.5 automatically. You just hit this 1x.
2.5. Oh, okay, yeah. I'm just used to using.
Or use your fingers.
Yeah. But you can see the difference between the 2 pictures, right? Especially when doing video walkthroughs of houses, right? Because you want to see a wider view of everything. I do it when I'm doing like landscaping, like my yard just got landscaped, so I've been posting a lot about my yard getting landscaped, and that's a great view, right? Because you get a little bit wider angle. So 0.5 zoom. Most people don't do 0.5 zoom. I think it looks way worse. So stories versus posts versus reels. Let's talk about that really quick. What difference? Really, stories versus a post versus a reel. This is me. I'm gonna go get a marker. You guys bring some.
Yeah. You know, shook my nephew while I was on Facebook. He's in the lower corner there. Yeah, you kind of look, I mean, you kind of look alike right here. Bottom. Yeah. He's got to start this on a mission.
Cool.
You know what the secret to permanent markers is? Dry erase markers. You draw over the permanent marker with a dry erase marker, and then you erase it, and it will come off. No, that's a real thing. It's amazing. I'm telling you. Life hack. All right, stories, posts, reels. Okay, what are stories? What's the difference between these three? Which one is the longest? Let's start there.
The longest
Which one allows you to post the longest thing?
post.
Post, you're right. So post, there's no limit. There might be a character limit, but if there is, I've never hit it. It's like 5,000 characters long. Yeah, videos as well. There's no limit with videos. It's pretty awesome. Maybe there is one of those videos, but I've never hit it. I mean, like I'm not posting full length videos, you know?
I've seen several hour videos,
Yeah, exactly.
so.
Yeah, I don't think the thing is. I mean, there probably is. There's probably like a 5 or 6 hour or something, you know, like Facebook's gotta put some kind of thing there. Okay, what about Reels? What's the limit for Reels? Lengthwise,
60 seconds?
I think it's 2 minutes. I want to say 2 minutes. Someone who what? Thanks, guys. Stories, I think it's like what, 15 seconds? For a story? 20? 20 seconds. Right, so that's your time limit. Where do stories show up? Well, you guys understand where stories show up, right? In comparison. So if I'm on Facebook,
So reels are 60 seconds. Reels on Facebook are short-term videos to 60 seconds long.
okay. So stories are, wait, 60 seconds?
Yeah.
You sure?
What it says?
I think you can do 2 minutes. What about on Instagram? We'll say 60 seconds. Like it's 2 minutes, but. Anyway, stories, it's the first thing that you see.
Instagram's 90 seconds.
90, okay. First thing that you see, okay? This is actually really key, like this, like when you log into Facebook, this is what people will care the most about on Facebook, is their stories. Actually, probably on Instagram too. Like this is where you're putting most of your content is on your story. Because you log into Facebook, like this is me literally logging into Facebook, and here's all the stories. Reels are somewhere down the line, some reels will pop up right there. Right? But the post will pop up first. So posts are second. Reels are third. This is talking about Facebook though, right? Reels have a whole separate category on Instagram, right? You can look up reels individually. What's the point of each of these? What's the point of a post? Why would you post something instead of putting it on your story?
In-depth information,
Okay,
so you can put more,
more in depth.
yeah.
What else?
Even though that says stories, it probably tells more of a story in the post. You can go longer from front to back. You can-
Yeah,
It'll say, I mean, people can,
I think that's kind of this, right?
yeah, more
The,
depth,
the more in depth thing.
yeah.
I would say that posts are meant to stay. Because stories go away, right? After 24 hours, right? 24 hours?
Yeah.
The story will go away. So this only lasts 24 hours. And the post stays. So I usually post things that I want to be reminded of later. Right? Like I don't care to be reminded about the groundbreaking that we just had on Tuesday, a year from now.
Right.
Unless I have really great pictures, which I'm actually going to post them today. I'll post really great pictures. But, right, but the story invitation, like, I'll put that on my story, because I want people to know about it, but it's like a limited time thing, right? Events, I'm probably gonna put them on my story.
So it says Facebook stories can be 120 seconds. But I think that's all of them, like if you were to record until it stopped you, you would have.
You got up, down, in 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
20-second segments, is that what it is?
Like, so,
100, so you can do 6 segments. That's not right.
no,
I've seen way more than 6.
Mhm.
But maybe they weren't 20 seconds each, maybe they were 10 seconds each. That's actually probably true. Because what happens is if you post on Reels and you share it through Reels, so. Yeah, on Instagram, it's weird, because from Instagram, you can post to Facebook, but you can't do it backwards. Does that make sense? And so if you post on Instagram and you share it to Facebook, like a reel, like a 90-second reel, for example, that will carry over into your story if you wanted to, and it will post the whole video. Even though Facebook, if you did it on Facebook, it only allows you 10, 15 to 20 seconds, right? It will still carry the whole video over, and it will just break it up into little sections. But it'll be a smooth transition through all those sections. Anyway, does that make sense?
yeah,
Okay, so stories, 20 seconds, first thing people see, it's meant for shorter term. Post stay, reels. What's the purpose of reels? Let's start with this. Who sees your posts?
Family, a lot of family.
Friends and family, right?
Friends and family, yeah. Yeah, because it's, most of them, that's what you selected, friends. and-
Story, it's kind of the same, right? Now, reels, this is where you get found. This is where you get discovered, because reels are a public thing and people just flip through reels. So you can have thousands or tens of thousands. This is how you can become viral for some of your reels. Reels are more of a public thing. That make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so when should we use these things? How often should we post a week? How often should we have stories up? Let's start with stories. How often do you think is best practice to have stories up? You probably know the answer.
Well, we staying with the 80-20 rule with stories as well.
Yes, but that shouldn't matter,
Doesn't matter.
right? Because I mean, like, it matters, like, don't overwhelm your stories, but like, personally, I think that you should always have a story up. You should never not have a story up. Does that make sense?
About your personal or business.
Anything, just
Okay.
period. You should never not have a story up. Like, for me, the 80-20 rule is a lot less prevalent on your story because it only lasts 24 hours. Does that make sense?
Right, yeah.
And hypothetically, you should have multiple stories. Like, this is a story. In fact, literally, after we're done talking about this, we're gonna make a story about you being in this class. We're gonna post it on Facebook.
Okay.
So I would say, we'll put a line here. I would say, always. You should always have a story. How about that?
So if they only go 24 hours, that's like one
every 7 days, or one every day.
every day.
Yeah, I mean, like, usually I do 2 or 3 every day, but if I'm like, like, I don't really care what's happening right now, or I'm so busy, or, I mean, like, if you're on vacation, you're on vacation, right? Like, don't worry about it, but usually try to keep up a story at all times. The stories are super easy, like, don't overthink stories, right? Like, it's like, who do you think is gonna win the game tonight, right? Post a question on your story. And you can have a little option for people to put an answer, right? Or something like that, right? Like, don't overthink it. What's your favorite headphones? I'm in a class today. Check out this view while I'm driving my car. Is your car as messy as mine is? Take a picture of your car. Anything else? Never cleaned their car out. Anyway,
Video driving my car.
I took a video after I mowed my lawn. So nice to have a fresh and mowed lawn. Full music in the background. That's my story right now, right? Always have one up. Okay. Post, how often should we post? No. False.
Once they no life is.
Just kidding.
Couple times a week.
My answer is at minimum, I think posting every day is great. If you have good quality content to put on it. But I would put at least 2 or 3 a week. That makes sense? Post, like. In the past, we have thought of posts as being social media. And that was social media, but then they came out with things like stories and reels, and so posts are a lot less. Urgent to constantly have, and a lot more. What's the word here? You want to keep your posts to be quality over quantity. Stories are more quantity over quality. Does that make sense? Stories are like, this is what's happening in my day every day. This is what's going on in my life. Posts are like, this is like an inspirational thing that I discovered, or this is a major milestone that just happened in my life. Does that make sense? In between those two, the 2 to 3 times per week. Reels, I would say once or twice a week. But again, like this is definitely like this more than anything is the quality. Maybe not more than anything. And honestly, like this to me feels more optional. I don't post reels personally. That's mostly because I don't use Instagram. And I don't really care to have random people follow me. Like I'm not trying to become a social media influencer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's really the purpose of this. Is to like become viral. But reels can be really good. I mean, like this is just another thing. If you have a really good video that you make that you post about, you should just put reels as well. Right? Like I have reels of me. I play disc golf a lot. And so if I have a really good shot and I haven't have a video of that, I'll put it down. Right. Anyway, any questions about these? You guys understand the difference between these?
Yeah.
Okay, let's practice. Which is slide number 2. Practice what you preach. Let's do this right now. Everybody take out your phone. Let's make a Facebook story.
All right. This brings up. Text, music, boomerang, create stories, selfie, green screen.
So usually I just click on the camera and take a picture of my environment at the moment. You can take a picture of this board or something, or I don't know. Whatever, or yourself.
It's out wide, so it's kind of hard. I was trying to get to that 0.5.
Oh yeah, don't worry about the 0.5 if you're just taking a selfie.
Okay. Okay, you're in my selfie.
I gave you the ultimate social media look. Just kidding.
Stickers, text, music, effects, draw, tag people.
Yes, you can do any of those. I mean, my stories usually are I just had text and just explain a little bit of what's going on. Today I'm saying another day, another class teaching on social media. But if you really want to know like best practice in stories, look at other people's stories. Take some time to look through. We'll talk about that a little bit. Pencils down. Just felt like it was. that moment.
And it's not some story that is why.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually love talking about this stuff.
uh,
The more I look through these slides, the more I'm like, oh
And
yeah. I
share
love
the
that.
story.
Yeah, share a story. Yep. This is your first story ever?
Yeah,
I'm so proud of you, Scott. Good day.
only shared a Facebook. That's all I have written.
All right, now let's talk about posts. I'm gonna throw my wife under the bus. So when you're posting, I came up with the most not probably true statement ever, but I feel very passionate about it. It's called the 3-line limit. Which is, don't ever post more than 3 lines in a paragraph. So by 3 lines, I mean this. You see how this is like 10 lines? Do you see this paragraph and think, I want to read that? Or are you like, that-
Yeah.
that's
You-
a freaking chunk.
You're like, it's a story, I'm gonna.
Yeah, how,
Look at the
that's too
picture.
long. So like, let me show you what my Facebook looks like. Right, the 3-line limit. You see how these are spaced out? They look like much easier to read. Usually I don't write too much content no matter what. But when I do write a lot of content, let's find one where I write a lot of content. Wow, that's it? No. Wow. I've been slacking. This is a long one. But like, see how like this one has 4 lines, okay, I'll allow it, right? But like, you don't look at this and think like, this is gonna take me way too long to read, as much as if it was one big clump. Does that make sense? I'm spacing it out with emojis showing like. Anyway, if you were reading this post, you'd understand more, but. Space it out. Yeah, do you like that?
Yeah.
You don't have any tips on landscaping? What was this question? Should I? Oh, should I plant fruit trees myself or learn how to do it? That was the question. Anyway, 3-line limit, right? Here's another one. This is another long one. This is a business post. Right? 3-line limit. It just feels a lot easier to read and a lot less like you're drowning in content. Okay? A limited amount of emojis, like let's not over emoji things, please. You know, I usually do like 1 emoji every other paragraph. There's not really a rule. There's not a rule for this, but just don't over emoji. Like no one needs 50 emojis in your post. No one wants that. Okay? Any questions on that? Feel good about that? 3-line limit. I love the 3-line limit because I feel very strongly about it. Okay, so then let's talk about groups and social media. So you are hopefully super active on social media, right? Should we look up Cash to see how active Cash is on social media?
Oh, boy.
Why don't we do this first of all? We're not hearing. All right, Cash Shepherd,
Nice.
you have some John Wayne in the back. Wait, is that John Wayne?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Nice. This is good. Good quality content. Okay. So, are you in any groups? Are you in any groups, Cash?
Yeah.
Let's see if we can find out. I can't see your groups on your Cash. I don't know. I don't know about you, everything about you. Just kidding, it's only 5, you know, it's 5 years. But we'll use me as an example. So,
You could go.
well,
I use yours.
I don't know if
Hands
groups are naturally HSEN.
Yeah. That's me. Yeah.
Okay,
I don't know if you can see what groups you're in if you're not.
you should take time to get this up. Like way up.
Yeah. Well, before I got into real estate, I was like, I just don't want people to know my private life, you know? So.
Well, now you should be looking at your high school friends, like anybody you worked with, Like literally anybody that you can think of, like, this is way too low.
Yeah,
This posting on social media until this gets to at least 400 is going to be way less effective.
yeah,
I want to say a waste of your time. Just kidding. It won't be a waste of your time, but like of the 200 people, 20 will see it total, right? Because only a percentage will actually see your posts. Anyway. This is why we talk about this though, right? It's not like anything's wrong with that. It's just that's what I would do if I were you. Yep, so it's been a minute since you've been on here frequently, right?
I don't know why it's not showing my latest post out there, but,
It's probably because you're not friends.
oh, yeah, I'm trying to see, can't see
Is
that.
it this one about Christ?
No, it's about my vacation to the Cayman Islands.
Oh, nice, okay.
So probably need to make my post more public as well.
Yeah, I don't know. We're not friends, and I think it's totally fine to not. I think you should have some posts be public. Like anytime you're posting about real estate, I think that should be public.
Yeah,
Because like, why not? Like, it's not like you're giving out private information or
Yeah.
anything, right? Like, if you're posting about your family or, you know, personal information, I think it's totally appropriate to keep that private. That's fine. Just share it with your friends and family. But yeah, that way people can look through your profile who don't know you and they can see more than just,
yeah. These are probably everything that I posted to public. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
anyway. Look at us stalking your guys' profile. But on here, we'll actually talk about the profiles in just a second. Let's not get hung up on here. But let's look at mine really quick. And let's talk about groups. I think cleaning up your profile is the next slide. Okay, let's talk about groups. So I'm in a bunch of groups. Let's go to more groups. So I'm in a bunch of groups. Probably the most common group I'm using is, most prevalent group, maybe. Are those public ones? Here. Go back to my main. What the heck? Why is this showing different than I'm used to?
What about the groups icon in the middle of the top? Is that a group straight up top, right in the middle, right there?
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's probably a better place to find it. Usually though, it just shows up on the left-hand side
Yeah.
or like, I don't understand why that's being so weird. Maybe it's only showing the public groups on my profile that the other people can see. Anyway, so here's a bunch of groups. Good call on this. I run the Lakeshore Landing community page for where I just moved to, which has like 6 people in it because we just, there's like 15 families in the community so far. But this is where I just moved from. So the Scenic Mountain community, like you guys all live in a community that probably has a Facebook page and you should be a part of it. There's 191 members out in this community. And people are posting about stuff all the time. And the more active you are in your community page, the better it's going to be for you in the long run. So on this slide, I show you a bunch of stuff that I have been posting. Let's zoom into this. Just to get the attention of, oh geez. Well, let me zoom in. All right, good call. So this is my daughter. I posted about, hey, we're gonna sign up my daughter, my 4-year-old for soccer, and I'm just gonna be the coach. So if anybody in our community wants to come, and guess what? In our practices / games, I probably had 30 conversations about, what do you do for work? Oh, you're a real estate agent? How's the market right now? You know, that kind of conversation, right? People know that I'm a real estate agent because they're asking me about it because I'm their kid's coach, right? Scenic Mountain community, anytime there's an HOA meeting, I'm always posting it on the community page. Hey, there's an HOA meeting coming up. This is the Zoom link for it. This is, you can email them here prior if you'd like. So on and so forth. Our team, we always offer to do a dumpster in whatever community we're living in currently. So we bring in a dumpster. I text the whole community or I post it on Facebook, say, hey, we're bringing in a dumpster. Please come. We'd love to help. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm also responding to everything. Like I have my phone to buzz me every time someone posts in that community, because when someone asks a question about something that has to do with real estate, I want to be the first one to answer every single time. Does that make sense? So join groups. Groups are your friends. Be the go-to in your community group, be present and interested, and don't be a salesman. There's me and one other realtor that lived in that community, and my posts were never about real estate directly, and her posts were always, hey, I'm a realtor. If you ever want to buy or sell, just reach out to me. Guess how many people in that community she's had meetings with? 0. Guess how many I've had? Probably 4 with people in that community, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's don't be a salesman, because people don't go on those group pages to learn who's the local realtor. They should know by association, right? It's one thing for me to post that I'm a realtor, but because I'm a realtor, we're offering a dumpster, and another to be like, hey, I want to sell your house.
Yeah, it's not direct.
Any questions about that? Feel like you understand groups pretty well? So what kind of groups can we be a part of? Give me some ideas.
Keller Williams has a group.
Yep, that's different though, because that's a group of realtors.
It's true.
That's an extremely good group to be a part of though.
Yeah.
Be very aware of what's going on next. People need help with showings where you can make extra money, open houses. Also, this is what's happening in the market. And I just posted about this class, for example, right, on that page. What else?
Any hobbies you have, like I'm sure you're part of a disc golf, probably a couple of disc golf groups, right?
Yep.
So any hobbies that you have, that's gonna be a part of the yard sale, there's an infinite amount of yard sale.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
Yeah, hobbies are a good one.
Hobbies are great.
Like I've just taken up photography, so I'm following photography people.
Yep.
So, yeah,
Yep.
that's where you connect with people as well. Because you're genuine, because that's what I'm interested in. If you're interested in horses, then you're gonna connect with people with like horses.
And the whole purpose of being in groups is not to tell them that you're a real estate agent, but it's to assert yourself as an authority figure in that group. Does that make sense? Or someone who's very present, because then once you get down the rabbit holes of, for me, let's say disc golf, right? Like once I go down the rabbit hole of I'm going to host a tournament. And when I host that tournament on that group and everybody knows who I am and they like me as a disc golf player, then I can host a tournament as Josh, the real estate agent, who's sponsoring this event,
Right.
and have a disclaimer of like, hey, when you sign up for an event, you may or may not receive marketing material from whatever, right? Like, then it feels like I'm not on that group just for that purpose, right? Anyway, does that make sense? Comment on things on groups, right? Our father's not working, so everybody else has its problem. You're right. If I were to have seen this and I still live in the community, then I would answer this question. Right? Answer these questions as much as you can so that you can be the person that people ask questions to. At one point, I was being tagged in most posts. Right? Josh, do you know when Fieldstone's going to do this? Josh, do you know when Fieldstone's going to do, whatever. Okay. Groups. Yeah, that's good. Let's move on. Okay, let's talk about cleaning up profile pages. So let me show you mine. Not that I'm the ultimate example, but I think that in terms of a clean profile page, I think I'm pretty good. So intro, family, friends, faith, real estate wealth advisor, disc golf addict. I have like my big things. My big things are real estate, family, the gospel, and disc golf, right? Those are my things. And so I have them on my intro to my social media page. So anybody who comes onto my page, they're not questioning like,
I'm not even sure I have an intro.
there you go, put an intro on it. Also right here, right? This is showing where I'm actively currently working. If you don't have the fact that you're a realtor on your social media page, that's not good. Because then people don't know what you do for a living. They should publicly know that you're a realtor. Let's see, what else on here? That's pretty much it. Oh. Your social media, I mean, your profile picture and this page. So let me show you this. So notice here, in my intro, I've got family, friends, faith, real estate wealth advisor, disc golf addict, right?
So under, is it under your ad bio? That's where it's right at the top.
Yep, right there.
Mhm. Okay.
Yep, so I would add a bio to your intro. That we can just take time to do this now if you want.
I have a little page, just like my homework page, so I just put it on.
Okay, great, perfect, yeah. Okay, so then your other homework I would add is this.
Sorry, what is it?
Cover photo.
Okay.
So also your profile picture needs to show you. So you have quite a few people in your profile picture, right?
Yeah.
3 or 4.
Yeah,
So I would change that so it's a good high quality image of you,
yeah,
so that people know what you look like. There's not a question. When like one of your homework should be to add a lot more people, right? Like I have 1.2 thousand. I mean, 1.2 thousand.
yeah,
Right? Like try to get that to at least 400. But no one's going to add you as a friend if they don't know who you are. And so you should change your profile picture first. So that when they see the profile picture pop up with a friend invite, they know instantly, oh, it's Scott from pickleball, whatever.
Yeah.
Also your cover photo should be a high quality image of something that you're passionate about, probably something in your bio, right? This is my family, these are my girls. And so, anyway. Like I would probably tell Cash, we're talking about cleaning up your bio.
Yeah.
So intro,
Something I need to do.
you have an intro, hopefully, you should have a bio. Mine's family, friend, faith, real estate wealth advisor, disc golf addict. It's 3 sentences that are super simple. I don't know if disc golf addict is a sentence, but but that describes who I am, what I'm passionate about, right? My profile picture is just a picture of me. There's no fluff to it. You can easily tell who I am and that I'm a nice person, hopefully. And then my cover photo is a photo of something in my bio, something that I'm passionate about. Like if you're a John Wayne nut, whatever, right? Put that in your bio. But if you're not, I would maybe change your cover photo. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Something that is more prevalent to like who you are as a person. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I mean, John Wayne nut, that sounds cool.
I'm trying to decide, like, is it something, because like that is who I am, that whole cover photo is where I came from, who I am, my heritage, right?
But is your heritage like country?
Yeah.
Then put a picture of you or like your farm, or does that make sense? Like John, like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
I feel
No,
like,
I definitely I definitely need to, because I probably haven't updated that in probably a decade.
right, I can't tell that this is you, so I would change this. This is an adorable
Yeah.
picture of you and your wife, but maybe make this your cover photo instead. Does that make sense? Like,
Sure.
you've got the great fence there.
I think it's cool and it kind of tells me about your character.
Yeah, this is a great
And
picture.
then one of the things maybe we could think about is that when we change our cover photos, it goes out to everybody and says, I changed my cover photo. And it tells the story right there too.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah.
I mean, I like it.
I think this is perfect for especially a cover photo. If you could get this a high quality enough edit, just because then you don't need to see your face on your cover photo, right? But this tells that story, right?
Yeah.
This tells the story of like country and cowboy hat and old wood fence, and looking over the countryside, right? But I can't tell who you are here, and so if you were to add me as a friend, it would be harder.
Sure.
And then, I mean, like with this, like, I think this is fine. Probably the thing I like about this the least is this.
Yeah,
I know you just grabbed this somewhere,
yep,
you know?
yep,
But also I'm analytical because
I-
this is what I think about all the time, is social
Sure.
media, right? So,
yeah. No, that's why I'm here, but I think, I don't even remember when that, I don't think I've ever changed my cover photo. To be honest, from like,
well, you probably have like a billion of these, right? Like you probably got a ton of pictures.
that was 3 years ago.
I know, but when you took it 3 years ago, didn't you get like an album of
Yeah.
pictures?
Yeah,
Right, and some of them are probably landscape wide.
Yeah. Yeah,
They're probably just as cute, so I think that would make a great cover photo,
still,
and then something with your face more.
Okay.
On the main one, so anyway, that's an idea.
I like it.
So cleaning up your bio, that's pretty much what I mean, is make it, so when people land on your page, there's no question of like, what is this person about? And I was telling Scott as well, make sure that you have your occupation currently as realtor.
No,
And that is public. Okay? Any questions on that?
nope,
Okay. Economist of choice. The whole reason why we post about real estate is that people come to you with real estate questions. So when I say economist of choice, I mean like you are posting about what's happening in the market. You are the person that knows what interest rates are at currently, and you're telling people what interest rates are at currently, right? You know that when interest rates go up, that prices come down, right? You understand the basic economics, right? Here's another post about economist of, no, that's not a good economist of choice. Let me find a good economist of choice. Post here. You're gonna either see my family or disc golf or Jesus on my profile. Read on me. That's a closing. That's not economist of choice. I should do another economist post because it's been a minute. It's not good. July, oh my gosh. Probably once a month, I would recommend at least updating your SOI, what's going on in the economy. Especially with the economy right now, right? Like there's so much unknown, like give your perspective of what's going on. So the last time I posted, oh, this is really bad. Look at this, look how far down I am. This is the last time I posted. No, this is Riley. Riley shared it. But this is the last time I posted. And it was a good post. Like, what's going on? Insert long economy post, right? Like, here's a summary of what's happened in the past 6 months. And this is what I think could possibly happen. It's better dollar to dollar, dollar for dollar to have a lower rate than a lower price. It's absolutely better to buy at home today at 450 at 6% than wait a year from now for 400 at 7, right? So on and so forth, right? Anyway, guess where I got this graph?
TV privilege.
Command.
I think Command has this graph. Maybe not this graphic directly. Did you come to the class yesterday? For Shoney's class?
I missed it, I was out.
kwutah.com is going to be your best friend. On here, they have resources, agent resources, and market statistics. Quarterly market reports.
Can you find Johnny's video of the
No,
market update on there too?
Yeah, you can find Johnny's on the market update, but also like there should be on here somewhere. Like really good shareables. For social media. Somewhere. I don't know, they were just talking about it yesterday. That's in here somewhere. Yeah. Okay, anyway. So take advantage of that. Also, if this feels like a lot to post about the economy, then this is something you should practice and become a little bit more educated on, because we're moving away from what's it called, a something-based market to a skills-based market. There's like a verb, there's a verbiage. Anyway, your skills in understanding what's going on in the market and guiding your clientele to take advantage of where the market is currently. Like I just had a conversation with my brother where I'm like, we haven't hit the bottom yet. You don't need to buy or sell. I would wait. Let's wait until we hit the bottom. And I'm gonna watch this heavily, you know, when we hit the bottom. Like you should understand that we haven't hit the bottom yet. And that, you know, where we're going from here. That makes sense?
Yeah,
And if you don't know that, and let me rephrase two things. First of all, you're never gonna be perfect at this. Right? No one really knows what's gonna happen. All you can do is kind of read the signs. And second of all, no one expects you to know everything right up front, but there's a lot of people here that know a lot. And so take advantage of meetings and go to those market updates and go to team training or whatever it is, right? Because that's where they talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
And then when you learn a nugget that stands out to you, share it on social media because your people don't know that nugget. You think it's obvious that prices have gone down anywhere between 8 and 12% in the past 4 months, but your people don't know that. They might, for all you know, they might still think it's a multiple bid scenario right now,
Yeah.
you know? Okay,
Deal.
economist of choice, take time to comment. All right, we're gonna shift thoughts here. Every day, it's called the 555. Do I have the 555 in here? I don't think I do. That's hilarious. This is my recommendation for your time spent on social media, okay? 5 by 5 by 5, which is 5 posts / stories per week. As minimum. I mean, like I told you, you should always keep a story up. So you should do more than that, but that's what that first 5 is. The second 5 is 5 comments per day. And 5 DMs per day. You should time block 30 to 45 minutes, okay? No, you go.
Sorry, I'm just per week on the 5 posts.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is what the first 5 by 5 is. I would refer back to this, like 2 to 3 posts per week and always have the story.
so DM, you're talking about like direct message.
Yes.
Somebody.
What's the best way to DM someone?
Stories.
Stories. So when you're in someone's story, and for example, like, let's look at Jordan. Love you long time, Kimber Walton. I love Kimber. So I can just directly comment on his story and say, Kimber's the best. With the little hands up symbol, right? And I just sent a message to Jordan Larson. And it's not a weird message. It's not like, hey, did you know that I'm a realtor now? And blah, 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 blah. I'm just commenting on his story. It's just like commenting on a Facebook post, but it's more personal. So now he might reply back. I mean, Jordan's an agent, so he doesn't care. But if it was somebody else, they might reply back and say, hey, I heard you got into real estate. What's going, you know, like it starts that direct communication with somebody, right? Or it doesn't. They might just ignore it, but then you're the one taking initiative.
But if you DM them, Facebook sees that, right? So then you start seeing yourself more.
Yes, exactly. So here's my client who just spoke with me. He just replied to my yard. Dang, that yard is thick. Oh my God, it's so funny. But like, this guy sees all my stories, and this is a great example, right? Like he commented it. Now I want to reply back to him, right? And have a conversation with him.
Yeah. How they like in the house?
They haven't moved in yet because it's being leased.
Yeah.
So they've got 2 months lease back. It won't be until November. And it was a nightmare closing. You want to hear a really horror story? Like, let's just take a break, and then we'll take a real break. Yeah, then we'll take a real break after this. But here's my horror story. After this slide, we'll take a break. The lender messed up and added, so the lender messed up multiple times. But the worst time was at closing when we thought we finally made it, because we had to extend a whole week because he had messed up so bad, which was already a nightmare. So we get to closing and we're all just like making sure that we can actually close, because he's like, oh, I don't know if I can get docs today. And we're like, well, the last day to close is tomorrow. We already extended and we can't close tomorrow. So we have to close today. So we barely make it to closing. It's like 5:30, right? We were supposed to close at like 4:30. Still don't have docs. It's 4:30. We're literally sitting in the title company waiting for him to send docs over. Anyway, so he sends docs over, we sign. We're like, oh, we did it. We made it. We sign. Jason notices something on the thing that looks a little weird, but he's like, you know what, it doesn't matter, we sign, everything happens, it funds, it reports, I get paid. Next, after the weekend, I get a call from the other agent, she's like, hey, we're going to disperse funds today, but you guys closed $5,000 over what we contracted on. The lender messed up on the purchase price and no one caught it. I don't even catch it. We didn't catch it because we were all rushing to close because we were already stressed. So my clients paid $5,000 more for their house than they were supposed to because the lender messed up and used a addendum from a previous contract that we were under contract for, the first one we were under contract for,
All from a different house.
all from a different house to justify the price increase because he didn't realize that it was the wrong addendum. So that was my nightmare story. Anyway, so I gave up a big chunk of my commissions and just said, hey, I'll just send you a check. I'll just Venmo you because I feel bad. So
Yeah.
that happened.
Can I ask you what it was?
It was MACU.
Yeah.
Yeah, MACU has an awesome program. It's fantastic. No money down, 40-year loan, 15-year balloon. It's so great. They're locked in at an interest rate of like 4.5%,
Wow.
and they totally screwed up. I guess that's just MACU. So you get a great loan, but you know, horrible lender. So the summary of that story is use First Colony because they offer the same program, but they're competent. They offer it through MACU, but they get to use all their systems. So you don't get messed up like that. Okay, let's go back to the slide. Okay, let's finish the slide and let's take a break. Okay, take time to comment. So you should take time, just like this says, 5 comments a day, 5 DMs a day. Take time to do that, 45 minutes a day-ish. And then MOFR, make offer for immediate response. Here's a good list. We just had a MOFR class yesterday from Cameron, which is actually really good. But MOFR is pretty much a call to action, right? All of your posts should invite them to do something if it's about business, right? Let me know if you want to be in the find it first program or whatever, right? Like, let me know if you want my best buy list. Reach out to me if you want to know what your home is worth, you know, DM me directly. I don't know. There's all kinds of ways to do this, but like, try to always leave with like an invitation for people to do something. That makes sense? Make an offer for immediate response. I'll give a $25 gift card to whoever can tell me what the lowest interest rate ever has been received. I don't know. I'm just throwing some ideas out, right? Any questions on that? All right, let's take a 15-minute break and we'll come back and we'll talk about advertising. Guys, we're going to actually, we spent a whole hour on my first section.
That's coming.
Is this helpful information?
Absolutely, yeah.
Let's do ahas before we break and then I'll show you after the break, the advertising side, and then everything else is shorter. Okay, come to your ahas. What are you going to do?
I need to clean up my profile.
Nice.
Well, my aha was really the difference between the stories, the posts and the reels and how much longer and what people see first.
Hmm.
You know, so for me, I haven't done any stories because I didn't realize I didn't know what they did.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
And I do see them first. When someone posts a story, I see it right away.
Yeah.
It does pop right up on your.
Yeah.
So that's the aha for me.
Yeah. Awesome. Good. Hopefully that'll be super helpful going into this, doing this social media thing. Okay, let's take a 15-minute break. Come back in. Let's take a 10-minute break. Then we can just get done early.
I think the other thing was your DMs and your way to DM. So I've DM'd on stories before because it's easier, but I didn't realize like just commenting on like their story. Always approach from like the salesman side. And so my DMs have been weird at times, right?
Yeah, don't make it weird.
Yeah,
The people don't want to DM you.
yeah,
Yeah, so just comment on their story and then you open that dialogue.
yeah.
It's kind of like calling someone. right? It's that same concept, right? It's just less weird, because it's weird now to call people, right? Like for some reason, like we're suddenly not a calling society, right?
Yeah.
But we are a DMing society, and so when you DM someone and say, hey, your lawn looks thick, then then I respond and I'm like, hey, how are you guys feeling after the closing, you know, and whatever, right?
Yeah.
So,
I have hardly any good pictures of myself without my wife in it.
this is a great opportunity for you to get
Yeah,
a new Photoshop. Alex Macayo is a great photographer. She does a lot of
headshots.
headshots for this office. She has weird hours. So she'll probably ask to do like a 7 p.m. photo shoot or something.
What's her name?
Alex Macayo. I can give you her number too, actually.
Yeah.
She did mine, she's great.
Yeah, I think Alex is really good.
I need to spell her last name.
Lacayo, I think.
Is she a realtor here? That name sounds familiar.
She was a realtor. I don't know if she still is a realtor. She works at the prison now, doing something.
I think you're thinking of Alex Lee too.
Oh, that's maybe his name.
If I can find Alex's.
I think somebody over here.
Okay. Oh, here it is. You ready? 915 408 1202.
1202
You got it.
915-408-1202.
I would spend the money. I mean, it's gonna be like $50 or something. I would definitely spend the money to get good, high quality images and come with like a shirt and maybe a blazer or something. Like, don't make it too fancy,
I
but
have
come with
another-
multiple chain. I guess I said blazer because I was gonna suggest multiple chains, like wear a couple, like bring 2 shirts. And do different backgrounds, just so that you can switch it up and make it look different, you know, sit on the stairs for a picture and. Like this, I don't know. She'll catch it through. But you're gonna use those pictures for different posts, and
Yeah.
stuff, you know.
Well, for your open house signs, you could use it for your business cards.
Yeah, for your business card. I wouldn't do it for your open house signs. I would just keep your open house signs like super generic. Because things will change, like you will change, right? One day you'll have a beard, you might get LASIK one, you know, for example. Like one of who was it? I think it was Becca. Becca put her face on her moving truck, Becca Summers. And on the moving truck, I think that she had her bangs. And like the next year, she got rid of her bangs, she's never come back. And so she looks totally different
Yeah.
between that picture and this and the new one, right? So anyway,
Didn't she have someone graffiti her moving truck too?
I don't know. Probably. People these days. Kids these days, right? Am I right? All right. Should we just keep going?
I think we could just.
Okay, I'm gonna breeze through this because I'm not gonna show you how to do it because I already filmed a video of how to do it and you can just do it there. But the best thing that you can do is build a business page for your Facebook. Business.facebook.com. Build a business page for your Facebook. And then go here, Business Manager. And run ads from Business Manager. Okay, I'm gonna show you what ad I would suggest you should run. Just really quick. So in my ads manager, there is a way to, I'm in the wrong thing. Let's go here and go here. There is a way to target a specific list of people. So what I would do, Scott, is I would go and search every ounce of spreadsheet or Gmail or whatever it is for every email you can possibly find of everybody that you've ever met. You probably have email threads from family vacations, email threads from old school groups or something, I don't know. But like get every single email you can possibly get and put it on this campaign. And so what this campaign is, it's called SOI. Let me just bring up the ad itself. So this is what my ad looks like. Let's go here. No. that's wrong. Sorry.
So can you get to the business page from your,
Oh, don't worry about how to do it. Because I'll show you where to get the video that walks you through doing it.
okay,
So don't worry about how to do it, but just try to make sure you understand the concept of what I'm saying here, okay? So pretty much what I'm doing here is I'm running an ad to all of my SOI. How do I get this over? Why?
You know, the arrow. No.
Oh. That's what I get for having a tiny screen. Zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. Okay. So curious about buying or selling or building a home? I've got your back. Joshua Barrett, here's my phone number. Here's my ad. I've got my professional picture in there. I'm just a click away. Here's my phone number again, call or text. The only people who ever see this are people I know directly. Because Facebook will target their email and find any social media profile, whether it be Instagram or Facebook, and target that profile. Does that make sense? And so like I have people all the time, hey Josh, I see your face everywhere. My wife sees my face everywhere. And we spend as a team $1 a day on this ad. Just to get in front of our people at all times. And what most people don't realize is how many ads are on Facebook. So if I go into my home, it's
Yeah, I
like every 4 posts.
What people don't realize is Facebook is now, it's an advertising medium.
Yeah, well, yeah, as soon as like, have you ever seen what's it called? What's the name of the movie about Facebook?
Oh, the guy who, his name, Rucker?
Mark Zuckerberg is the guy who invented it, but
Yeah, the movie with him in it.
it's called like the social network or something.
Social network.
Is that what it's called? Anyway, yeah, social network. So, yeah, they talk about that and how they started and then they had to become an advertising because that was the only way they were gonna make money, and now it's pretty much all they are, right? But like it's every 3 or 4 posts, right? There's my sponsored, anytime it says sponsored, right? So 1, 2, there's reels, 3, 4, sponsored. So about every 4 posts, an ad pops up,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I don't think most people don't realize how often these actually pop up,
yeah, sponsored. There's an ad right there.
right? So it's like every 4 posts, 3, 4, ad. If you know it matters.
You don't realize it because you just keep scrolling.
Because you just keep scrolling through, but like imagine if this ad was your face for your family, right? Suddenly you stop and like, oh yeah, Scott's a realtor. That's so cool. I just saw his face, they're texting you about it, right? I think that this ad is super effective. Because this will pop up in reels, it will pop up in stories, it will pop up on the normal feed, it will pop up everywhere.
Let's say you had 1,100 impressions on it.
Yeah, something like that.
Jeez.
I think I'm in the tens of thousands, maybe it's 11,000. Let's look here. Should we see how effective this has been?
Yeah.
This is where it would be. Okay, so I've had 19 clicks. That's pretty dang good. $7 per click, which I don't really care about. Where is my impressions? I don't think it's going to be here. Let's get rid of this. So there's 15,000. But I don't know if that's probably not just me. Right, so let's go to mine. So I'm only at 1,100. But I have 1,200 friends.
And this is all
1100
of your
received.
team over here.
These are all my team. Yep.
Yeah.
So 1,100 from December what? December last year?
December of last year. Yeah. Like it's not like a crazy amount, but I'm also only spending, right? I've spent $15 on this ad so far.
Yeah.
And 1,100 people have seen it.
Yeah.
I have 1,200 friends. on Facebook. And it's not like they saw it once, it's like they keep seeing it
So are you guys spending $1 a day for the team? Or
per person.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does that get 15? From December 6th?
Because sometimes it doesn't spend money unless someone sees it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so like we spend up to $1. That's a better way to say it. We spend up to $1 a day. We won't spend more than $1. But so far on this ad, like as a team, we've only spent $138 on this entire campaign.
That's awesome.
So it's actually super
I mean,
good.
138 is not much.
That's
Advertising.
nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's nothing.
To be in front of 1,500 people that
Yeah.
you all know personally.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
15,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, any questions about that? So the way you find this is if you go to search for Facebook and you go to Dominate. Is it Dominate? No. What's it called? Mastering the Changing Market. This is a group that we created for Shift. Join this group, Mastering the Changing Market, and then my video is in here. So if you go to videos. What the heck? Okay, let's go to discussion. There's Becca. There's Becca. There's Shelby. There's Brad. There's Becca. There's Becca. There I am.
Does someone have to approve it, I guess?
Yes, they'll have to approve it. In fact, I probably just got notified. Should I approve you?
Yeah.
No, I didn't get notified. Does it hate me now? I'm supposed to call for why. That's not important.
Okay.
Thanks, Bobby. Okay, so this is the video right here. So you'll see it has a graph, it has me in this corner. Here's a walkthrough for your SOI ads, and this will be me walking you through how to do it. Okay, if you have more questions, come find me. I sit in a cubicle right up there, across from Dan Kennedy. A little bit south and north of the printer. So just come find me. I'm there pretty much every day. Okay, all right, so that's ads. I mean, we don't need to do a how about that. Okay, and then also, this does not have to do with social media, but make sure you have a good website. If you have command, that's probably sufficient. You're not paying for a website. This probably doesn't have to do with either of you actually, but just because like it's hard to justify when you're just starting spending a lot of money, so I would just use command.
Don't we just have our name at kw.com? Is that what?
If you set it up that way, then yeah. Or if Alex set it.
Yeah,
up
that's
that
me.
way.
That's my name. That's mine.
Okay.
Scott Johansson at kw.com.
Yeah. So, I mean, in my mind, the best websites have these things: home searching, which I'll commend to; blog posts, which they don't yet, but maybe one day; home valuation, which they don't yet, but maybe one day; vendor lists, registration, which they do; tags, smart plans. Take some time on your website, like make sure that it's good, and then have everything go back to your website, right? Like that ad, it has to go somewhere, right? So when they click on it, it goes back to my website. So they can look at homes, and I know that they're looking at homes in the CRM, right? Everything goes back to the website.
Yeah.
CRMs that you love, we use Chime. Follow Up Boss is a good, cheaper version. Boomtown is one of the better ones. And then obviously Command is the best you can get for cheap. I mean, for free. Like literally, it's so good for free. The websites are subpar, but everything else about Command is phenomenal.
Can you, there's a decent amount of website you can do though.
Yeah,
Command, right?
it's gotten better.
Okay.
It's gotten better for sure. This is another thing. Are you Googleable? I love that word. Right? So if I Google Cash Shepherd, that's right. Cash
Should, you've been working on it this last week,
Shepherd.
so
Realtor.
spell the last name. There you go.
This one?
Yep.
Nice. You're on realtor.com. I don't see you in businesses though.
I got my thing from them. Tuesday, my address verification thing.
Oh, okay.
So.
So it might take a minute for it to like really show up here. So like if you,
Oh, I don't think it's my name.
what is it?
Real cash real estate.
So I'm not showing up on Google. So, but there are two other Scott Hansons, Caldwell Banker and Scott Hansen St. George Real Estate.
Yeah, you don't show up on Google because you haven't made it. So Google these words, Google my business. So
Google
Scott,
My
if you
Business.
do Google my business, then that brings up Google business profile. You need to make a business profile so that you show up on Google. Does that make sense?
Okay,
So my suggestion would be to not put Real Cash Realtor.
Yeah.
Realty or whatever. I think it's an awesome name, but just put your name, because that's what people
Sure.
will. Right, you'll introduce yourself as Cash. And so they're
Yeah.
like, okay, Cash.
so when you do Google My Business and then you get listed on Google, that's how where you just say get listed on Google.
Well, just right there, Google business profile, yeah, get listed on Google. So
Get
you-
listed on Google.
You click on that, you click on manage now. And then you would just go from there and just fill this out. And it takes time, right? Like you
Yeah.
have to have something sent to your address to prove. Have something sent here, make this your address. That's what I would do. Because this is the office space that you use. But yeah, be on Google, make yourself Googleable. So like, here's an example, Peter Moore Real Estate Group, right? This is where most of our agents. Just use this.
And when you do that, does it ask you to put in pictures and other stuff as well? When you do that? profile.
It allows you to, I don't know if it's, I'm pretty sure it's optional, maybe it's not.
Yeah.
It's optional.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. It'll have you put in a business, an address, I would put in your phone number for sure, because you are now a public figure and. Just make it public,
Yeah,
and then you'll be able to get things like reviews and stuff, and that's where I would get reviews is on Google and not on like Zillow or something.
Yeah.
It's just better. Anyway, any questions?
How long does it take to show up?
I have no idea.
Wow.
I've never actually had to do this. Because every time I've joined a team
they already have.
or
a
ran a
website.
team or I read, I built out KW Westfield's website. Like they already have something that I can start with. And so they're already mostly there. So I don't know if it takes, like, I'm trying to get my address on Google currently for my house and it's been like months. So sometimes it takes a while, sometimes it's quicker.
It probably depends on what it shows up in a business or something.
It'll be easier because you'll link to this address, so it should come quicker, but sure. I'll look into that. You could probably just.
So if we're not on a team, I'm just putting Scott Hansen and real estate agent Keller Williams.
Yeah. Exactly. Any questions? Is this helpful? Is this class helpful?
Yeah, this last one was a good tip with there you go. So,
Yeah, this was supposed to be an internet lead capture and this class is supposed to be just social media, but I figured, nobody's gonna tell you to get on Google. So I'll be the one. Make sure you get on Google. I mean, like, in terms of priorities, that's probably lower down the totem pole because people aren't gonna really Google you right now.
so my last
But
two ahas that you're done are, getting Facebook Manager set up in your video that you provided to look
Yeah.
at that,
great,
and then also Google My Business.
perfect.
Those are two awesome, worthwhile. Be your suggestions.
Yeah, I think if you do 5x5, if you run ads like that's showing, just those two things alone, that will bring you 20-25% raises.
Let me ask you this one question. So if I have, for me, it's more difficult to like, okay, now I gotta put down this project and I'm gonna get on social media. So I know there are social media like managers out there where you can schedule stuff. Does
Command does that.
Does it?
Mhm.
Okay, so that's probably what I need to do because I need to sit down with someone that helps me say, okay, I'm gonna get a bunch of ads, maybe those aren't the current ones, what you know about the market, expertise, because that's probably needs to be
Well,
very current.
uh-huh,
But if I could get something that posts once or twice a week without me going back in there, you know what I mean?
yeah,
that would be very helpful. I mean, command does that, you say.
Command does do that, yeah. I would be hesitant though to schedule posts because usually if you're scheduling a post, it's not very. What's the word?
Relevant?
Not relevant, that's not the word, because you can put super relevant stuff, but personal, I guess.
But there are some when you don't want that, you don't want, necessarily need to be personal. Those are the ones that maybe once a month, maybe they're just the once a month ones or once every couple of weeks.
Well, those I would imagine would be like the Merry Christmas kind of ones, you know, like where like you schedule a post to go on Christmas or something like that. Like, okay, I could see that. I would just be hesitant, like I would practice more of time blocking 30 minutes a day, first thing in the morning. You come in and you post something that you came up with yesterday and then you think of what you're gonna post tomorrow. Does that make sense? And make that your practice rather than scheduling posts, because scheduling posts is great for like a business or like, you know, something that's like a lot more of like a machine. But when it comes to a personal page, I'd be more hesitant.
Can you schedule posts for your personal page?
I think so.
Okay, so I know you can schedule your business. page.
Because you could, yeah, you can
Oh,
link
yeah.
your business page.
That's right. If you're on the regular just advertising part, you can say when, how long you want to run and when you want to start
Now you're talking about ads.
ads, yeah.
Yeah. So ads and posts are very different, right? For an ad, like,
Ads, that's what I'm saying, ads. But I'm talking about posts at first. I was kind of there.
yeah,
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking that you can.
yeah, that's true. Command might only allow you to post on your business page.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, there's like probably 50 apps you can use to schedule on your personal page. Like it's super easy to find. And 90% of those will be free.
But when you do that, you can also only do posts, you can't do stories or reels, or anything.
Yeah, and that's why I'm like, you know, like you could schedule a post, but like usually the post, like you kind of like are in the moment and you have like an epiphany. And so then you're like, oh, I should post about this, you know. At least that's how I do it. So if it works better for you to post, I mean, just schedule and definitely do that. Anyway, okay,
All right, is that the end?
that's it.
Yeah, okay, it was well worth it for me.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite things to talk about because I